Hi, my name is Jason Rom. Welcome to Dev Central, and we're going to spend a few minutes together talking about iRules timing. With iRules timing, it is a command in iRules that allows you to track how much CPU time the iRules take. So that's useful for seeing what the impact is to your box on running rules, and giving you insight in how to, or not necessarily how to optimize them, but whether or not they are optimized as you make changes to them. So um, timing can come from, or I'm sorry, it can be enabled for the rule globally. You just put timing on at the top of the rule, and then it will time for every event. Or you can pick a single event, and so if you're just troubleshooting or optimizing a particular event, you can just turn timing on for that. And then if you want to do more than one but not all, you can turn timing on globally, and then just turn timing on and off as necessary. And then what data you get out of that, if you do a B rule, rule name, show all, you get the min, average, and max of every event that you're timing in cycles. So you add all those cycles up together, and you get total cycles for the whole rule, and per second. And then you can also reset those stats with the B rule, rule name, stats reset, or you can reset them all at the same time. So what do you do with those cycles? So you take that cycles that you get out of what the iRule has, and then you want to figure out what your total cycles are, and that changes from platform. So you need to look at your proc CPU info file, and that'll tell you, how many processors you have and the speed for each processor. And then so you want to multiply your speed times your cores, and then that gives you a total number of cycles. You need to factor in the fact that TMM shares resources with Linux, and so when you take off 20% of your total, that's roughly about what iRules would have access to. Now, you still have to consider that TMM does other things besides just process iRules, so this is going to be a max number. It's not necessarily going to be a realistic number. Better way to look at that might be to take your average cycles and divide it by the total cycles available, and then that will give you a percentage of CPU that rule takes to run per second. And so if you have 10,000 requests per second, and that iRule takes 0.00025, then all of that together is going to take 25% of CPU that's available to TMM. And so that's a pretty significant impact. If you're at 10%, that's no big deal, but if you're already at 50%, you had 25% on top, well, you're getting into an uncomfortable area. So interpreting stats, once you have the calculations aren't that complicated. They're built into this spreadsheet, and you can download that from Dev Central. In that, you plug in your numbers, and then it gives you your data. The other way to do it is you can come into the iRule editor, right click on an iRule, go to properties, and then to statistics, and then you want to put in your value. You can have it guess. So we have guessed the CPU to be 1600. So for me, that's not accurate. My 3600 has a 2.3 megahertz or gigahertz processor, and it's got two of them, so it would actually be closer to 4600 megahertz instead of 1600 megahertz. So that's something you'll want to keep in mind when you're using that. But you can come down here and look at max concurrent requests, and it's going to tell you your maximum requests for that event, and then percent CPU for each event. So back to the helpful links. In the wiki, you can look at the timing command. Also, if you look at the iRules Optimization 101 number 5, it's where Deb talks about the iRules runtime calculator in that article. And then also there's a good thread there as well. And I'm going to come back here in the second part, and I wrote a Python script to go out and do some of this, automate some of this stuff for you. So be back in just a sec.